The Mazda CX-70 is being marketed as a premium two-row SUV that challenges luxury brands, but this vehicle is also hiding flaws that could make you regret your purchase. If you're considering the CX-70 because you want a refined, spacious alternative to three-row SUVs, you need to know about the transmission issues, build quality problems, and confusing pricing strategy that make this one of the most questionable purchases in the segment. Let's check out 6 problems with the Mazda CX-70 that no one talks about. Number 6. Transmission issues. The CX-70 comes equipped with an 8-speed automatic paired with Mazda's new 3.3-liter turbocharged inline-6 engine. On paper, this combination sounds perfect for a premium SUV. In reality, the transmission is causing headaches for owners across the board. The most common complaint centers around sluggish shift behavior that makes the driving experience feel unrefined. Imagine you're merging onto a highway and need quick acceleration. The transmission hesitates when changing gears, creating a delayed transition that leaves you second-guessing whether you have enough power to complete the merge safely. For a vehicle positioned to compete with established luxury names, this lack of smoothness is a glaring weakness. Things get worse when drivers try to take control using the paddle shifters. The manual shift mode is incredibly frustrating, with the transmission showing reluctance to obey driver commands. When you pull the paddle to drop a gear, the system responds slowly, almost as if it's questioning your decision. This sluggish behavior completely undermines the sporty, engaging driving dynamics that Mazda built its reputation on. The issues are particularly pronounced at low speeds. Early owners are reporting jerky behavior when accelerating from a stop or during slow-speed maneuvering in parking lots. To address these complaints, Mazda is requiring dealerships to perform transmission control module relearn procedures, often after multiple software updates have already been applied. What's concerning is the ongoing nature of these problems. Countless software updates are being released to make shifting smoother, indicating that Mazda is still figuring out how to properly tune this powertrain combination. Early adopters are essentially beta testing an unfinished product, but transmission problems are just the beginning. The issues extend beyond the powertrain into the very structure of the vehicle itself. Number 5. Build quality concerns. Walk into a Mazda dealership and you'll immediately notice the CX-70's impressive interior presentation. Premium materials, elegant design, and careful attention to detail suggest a vehicle ready to challenge luxury marks. However, beneath that initial impression, the CX-70 is struggling with persistent build quality issues that damage its premium credentials. Interior rattles are the most frequently reported problem. Think about your daily commute. You're driving down a familiar road, trying to enjoy your morning coffee and a podcast, when suddenly you're distracted by an annoying rattle coming from somewhere in the dashboard. The heads-up display cover is a common culprit, producing distracting rattles over rough pavement. The sunglasses holder and rear seat armrest are also generating complaints, with owners describing persistent vibrations that shouldn't exist in a vehicle at this price point. The severity becomes clear when you learn that some owners are resorting to DIY fixes, stuffing memory foam into problem areas to suppress the noises. When buyers of a $50,000+ SUV need to improvise solutions for factory defects, something has gone seriously wrong with quality control. The mechanical side is even more troubling. Multiple owners are reporting a suspension clunk that occurs at low speeds when turning the wheel toward full lock. When dealerships inspect these vehicles, technicians can replicate the noise but have no immediate fix available, indicating that Mazda corporate is still investigating the issue. Whether these sounds stem from CV joints, sway bar links, or simple assembly errors, the presence of undiagnosed mechanical noise immediately erodes confidence in long-term durability. Compounding the problem is noticeable tire noise that many owners attribute to the factory-equipped Yokohama Geolanders. Speaking of falling short of expectations, the CX-70's cargo space tells a similar disappointing story. Number 4. Limited cargo capacity. One of the primary selling points for the CX-70 is straightforward. By removing the third row found in the CX-90, Mazda is promising buyers maximum cargo utility in a 2-row configuration. In execution, however, the CX-70 fails to deliver the cargo advantage buyers are expecting. Consider a typical weekend scenario. You're heading to the hardware store to pick up lumber for a deck project, or you're loading camping gear for a family trip. You expect a vehicle this size to swallow everything effortlessly. The CX-70 provides 39.6 cubic feet of space behind the second row and a maximum of 75.3 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. The Honda Passport offers 50.5 cubic feet behind the rear seats. That's nearly 11 cubic feet more than the CX-70. That's the difference between fitting your camping gear comfortably and having to leave items behind. With seats folded, the Passport expands to 100.8 cubic feet, completely outclassing Mazda's offering. Even the Jeep Grand Cherokee provides 37.7 cubic feet behind the second row. Despite the CX-70 being significantly longer at 201 inches, its cargo advantage is marginal at best. So the cargo space is disappointing, but if you think that's frustrating, wait until you try to use the technology inside this cabin. Number 3. Complicated infotainment system. Technology should make driving easier, not harder. Unfortunately, the CX-70's infotainment system is creating significant frustration for owners due to Mazda's unique control philosophy. The system features a 12.3-inch central display, but the way you interact with it is deliberately restricted. While the screen functions as a touchscreen when parked, Mazda disables touch functionality completely once you start driving. Instead, you're forced to use a rotary controller knob on the center console. The real problem emerges when using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which are fundamentally designed for touch interaction. Forcing these smartphone mirroring systems to work through the rotary dial transforms what should be simple one-touch actions into multi-step processes, requiring several dial turns and button clicks. Beyond the control issues, the system is exhibiting classic software bugs. Owners report screens freezing or lagging during use, requiring hard resets. Bluetooth connectivity is particularly problematic, with frequent pairing failures. Adding to the frustration, wireless smartphone integration is reserved for higher trims. Lower-end models only offer wired connectivity. For a vehicle starting over $40,000, the lack of standard wireless connectivity represents a significant technology gap. And that technology problem is frustrating on its own, but it gets even worse when you discover what Mazda is asking you to pay for essentially the same vehicle with a different name. Number 2. CX-90 costs the same and has third row. This is the CX-70's most damaging problem. The CX-70 and CX-90 are almost identical vehicles. Same platform, same dimensions, same powertrains, same capabilities. The only meaningful difference is that the CX-90 includes a third row of seats. Logic would suggest the two-row CX-70 should cost significantly less. Instead, Mazda is pricing them almost identically. Both vehicles ride on the same rear-wheel drive-based platform. Both offer the same powertrain choices, the 3.3-liter turbocharged inline-six with 280 horsepower, the upgraded version with 340 horsepower, or the plug-in hybrid. Performance metrics are identical. Same transmission, same all-wheel drive system, same EPA ratings of 24 miles per gallon city and 28 miles per gallon highway, and the same 5,000-pound towing capacity. Here's where Mazda's strategy falls apart. The CX-70's starting price of $42,000 is actually higher than comparable CX-90 base trims. Imagine you're standing in the dealership comparing two nearly identical SUVs. One has extra seating for occasional guests, the other doesn't. Both have the same price tag. Which would you choose? Market analysts are struggling to identify any rational reason to choose the CX-70. For the same price, the CX-90 is perpetually more practical. Even buyers who don't currently need a third row recognize the value of having those extra seats available, the just-in-case factor that provides flexibility for carpools or extended family trips. But this confusing value equation is just a symptom of the CX-70's biggest fundamental flaw. Number 1. Pricing. The CX-70 starts at around $42,000 and climbs to $58,000 for the top trim. This places Mazda's newest SUV in a precarious position, caught between established mass-market leaders and legitimate luxury contenders without offering the advantages of either category. At the entry level, the CX-70 is more expensive than traditional competitors. In the mid to upper trim levels, where the CX-70 often exceeds $50,000, it's competing directly with established luxury brands. At this price point, buyers are cross-shopping against the Acura MDX, BMW X5, and Genesis GV80. Here's the challenge. When you're spending BMW money, you expect BMW refinement, BMW technology, and the prestige of a BMW badge. The pricing becomes indefensible when compared to the CX-90. Basic logic suggests that removing the third row should result in cost savings. Industry experts estimate that to establish a meaningful value difference, the CX-70 would need to be priced at least $2,000 to $4,000 lower than its three-row sibling. Look, the CX-70 has some serious problems. The transmission feels unfinished and needs constant updates. Rattles and clunks show up where they shouldn't in a premium SUV. The cargo space is a letdown for such a big vehicle. The infotainment system makes simple tasks way harder than they need to be. But here's the real kicker. The CX-90 costs the same and gives you more. That pricing decision alone makes the CX-70 something to think about when considering the purchase. Today's market is full of mid-size SUVs that excel in luxury but maintain prices affordable. If you're looking for the ultimate value for money proposal, then make sure to check out our video about the all-new 2026 Kia Telluride. The new generation fixes those few remaining issues of the previous model and probably becomes the true value king in this near luxury segment.